Happy Holy Saturday afternoon from Clyneshire. It's a little chilly out, but the sun is shining and there are signs that spring is finally here. There's new life all around me. Take a look at what we picked up the other day from the hatchery for starters.
Oh, look at you little guys. Hello. Are you staying warm enough? With it getting into the 20s at night. I was wondering if they would do okay, but they're doing fine. We have a few layer hen replacements in there, and then our first batch of meat chicks as well.
With it being Holy Saturday, I can't help but be in a reflective mood. Yesterday, we marked the crucifixion and death of Jesus. Holy Saturday is in between, a stasis, a period of waiting for the empty tomb and for the celebration of the resurrection. We attend the Easter Vigil, the service at night where we light a bonfire, and the whole church fills with light. The priest comes forward with the candle and sings "Christ our light," and everybody sings "Thanks be to God." And then the whole church fills with candlelight. It's the most beautiful thing if you've never witnessed it before. But right now I'm still out and about, and as I said, I'm in a reflective mood. And part of my reflection is on how farming and its closeness to the land helps to remind one that really everything is about new life and waiting for life. That's really what spring is. Easter is in the spring, where we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus and our new life in Him. And of course, everything comes to life in the spring as well. So as I search for new life today, as I see how my garlic is coming up, and as I head into the woods to look for ramps, more on that in a moment, I'm just thinking about new life and the gratitude we have for the gifts from the Lord, which are certainly evident in farming as green things spring up around us. Well, let's see what we have out here. Every fall we bury seed and mulch it and trust that the Lord will watch over it and not give us weather which is too tough for it, and that it'll come soon. And I should trust in Him more, because although I'm on pins and needles, every spring as I wait for it to come up, it's never failed me yet. There's garlic all along here just waiting to come up. Look at this. Wait for it. In a week or two I'll be posting a video, and you're going to see triple rows of garlic here, all in 14, 15 rows or whatever I have here in the lower field. It's going to be amazing. I'll be rescuing the stragglers that come through, but really this is beautiful to see already. A sign of spring. It was a slow one this year, but it's here. The pasture actually where I'm most concerned that the clover that I frost seeded isn't going to come up, because as you can see it's still overcome by weeds and there just isn't a lot of bare soil. It hasn't really been grazed in a quarter century until I put the goats and the horses on it last year. But I do see a little bit of clover in here. Definitely have to look closely, but right here. Look at that. I don't know if it'll be enough, but
there definitely is clover here.
I feel a little bad about walking in this pasture, actually. Trampling my new clover. And the boys have been banned from walking in it. But in a moment you'll see why I'm making an exception today. I have something in the woods that I wanted to check out. Here we go. Here's what I'm looking for today. Look at these. Well, these are called ramps, and they are basically a wild leek. They're in the onion family, and they are really this amazing thing. One of the first signs that spring is here. They come up through the leaves of the forest if you have a dry spot with moderate sunshine, and they do their thing for maybe a month, maybe less this year since spring is so late. These are actually still pretty young and tender, so I am not going to over harvest them, but I actually developed a strategy of taking out from the middle of a patch, and I discovered last year when we did this for the first time that the patch sort of fills in again. So there's a bit of a strategy here. You don't want to take away all the ramps, and some people are very cautious. They'll only take the leaves, but I feel pretty comfortable given how my spreading them out and taking through the middle has caused this patch actually to expand even a year, that I'm in a pretty good place, even taking the roots, which are really good. I've got my shovel here, and I want to be gentle because I'm not trying to take the whole bunch. They sort of grow in a clump. This is one of these things which are such a delicacy that if you have people who are serious about foraging, they won't tell you where their secret patch is that they come back to year after year. But did you see this? Look at this. Oh, it smells so good. It's a big clump. I'll take this back and I'll rinse these under the faucet before I take them in. I don't want to lose the roots. I'm not going to harvest that much today because, as I said, they're young. They're still pretty delicate. I'm actually leaving a little bit of the root there so that they can come up again. Look at that, little force and pressure. They're like a little onion. We're gonna have chicken tonight for our first feast of Easter, and I will wash these off, and they'll go right in with the chicken to impart this amazing flavor. I think that's all we need for supper tonight. Well, as I said earlier, it's Holy Saturday and I'm in a reflective mood, and if you'll bear with me, I'd love to read to you an excerpt from a homily, an ancient homily for Holy Saturday with Christ in the tomb. It's something that is part of the church's liturgy, and it's so ancient, as a matter of fact, that the name of the author has escaped us. We don't know the name of the author, but it is, I think, one of the most profound pieces of literature reflecting on Christ in the tomb as he appears, as the creed says, he descends into hell and he appears to those who have awaited his coming, and he says, "Awake, sleeper, rise." I'm thinking about new life. I'm thinking about the resurrection of Christ. I'm thinking about everything that I see around me. And I'm thinking, awake, sleepers, rise. It's a beautiful connection. Bear with me. I'd love to read this to you. Happy Easter.
What is happening? Today there is a great silence over all the earth, a great silence and stillness, a great silence because the King sleeps. The earth was in terror and was still because God slept in the flesh and raised up those who were sleeping from the ages. God has died in the flesh, and the underworld has trembled. Truly he goes to seek out our first parents like lost sheep. He wishes to visit those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death. He goes to free the prisoner Adam and his fellow prisoner Eve from their pains, he who is God and Adam's son. The Lord goes in to them holding his victorious weapon, his cross. When Adam, the first created man, sees him, he strikes his breast in terror and calls out to all, "My Lord, be with you all." And Christ in reply says to Adam, "And with your spirit." And grasping his hand, he raises him up, saying, "Awake, O sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Christ shall give you light. I am your God, who for your sake became your Son, who for you and your descendants now speak and command with authority those in prison. Come forth, and those in darkness. Have light, and those who sleep, rise. I command you, awake, sleeper. I have not made you to be held a prisoner in the underworld. Arise from the dead. I am the life of the dead. Arise, O man, work of my hands. Arise, you who are fashioned in my image. Rise, let us go hence, for you in me and I in you. Together we are a one undivided person. For you, I, your God, became your son. For you, I, the master, took on your form, that of a slave. For you, I, who am above the heavens, came on earth and under the earth. For you, man, because I became as a man without help, free among the dead. For you who left a garden, I was handed over to the Jews from a garden, and crucified in a garden. Look at the spittle on my face, which I received because of you, in order to restore you to that first divine inbreathing at creation. See the blows on my cheeks, which I accepted in order to refashion your distorted form to my own image. See the scourging of my back, which I accepted in order to disperse the load of your sins, which was laid upon your back. See my hands, nailed to the tree for a good purpose, for you who stretched out your hand to the tree for an evil one. I slept on the cross, and a sword pierced my side for you who slept in paradise and brought forth Eve from your side. My side healed the pain of your side. My sleep will release you from your sleep in Hades. My sword has checked the sword which is turned against you. But arise, let us go hence. The enemy brought you out of the land of paradise. I will reinstate you no longer in paradise, but on the throne of heaven. I denied you the tree of life, which was a figure, but now I myself am united to you, I who am life. I posted the cherubim to guard you as they would slaves. Now I make the cherubim worship you as they would God. The cherubim throne has been prepared. The bearers are ready and waiting. The bridal chamber is in order. The food is provided. The everlasting houses and rooms are in readiness. The treasures of good things have been opened. The kingdom of heaven has been prepared before the ages.